time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
12:03 on a Friday right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're listening on TuneIn or at edmontonsportstalk.com, remember you can text us anytime at 780-218-9999, or you can hit us up in the nasty chat as well, which is already hopping. The Edmonton Oilers have won 12 in a row. Tommy Gazzola, what's going on, buddy?
Hello, coming at you from Rogers Place. How do I sound? This is a new setup I'm trying out here. Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, the pucks are a little loud when they're hitting the boards, but that's okay. I'm just surprised.
Tell them to stop.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Shoggy let you wear a hoodie to the rink today. What's going on with that?
Well, you know, he is the sheriff, so it's casual Friday, I guess.
A casual Friday. That's nice.
It's very cold here. I have my coat, but I figured I want to kind of fit into the whole casual Friday theme. Also, Shoggy is not here, and he did mention yesterday in the press box that he didn't really want to show up for today's practice, so I don't even think he's going to be here.
What? Why didn't he want to show up for today's practice? They've won 12 in a row.
Because Shoggy wanted a day off, I guess.
Man, he does grind. He does grind between TSN and Got Your Back. He's a busy boy.
Hey, he was showing me Got Your Back hat concepts.
And?
They look nice.
Yeah.
They look nice, but, I mean, there's only one OG local station hat that I would go out and get.
Tell Shoggy if he wants me to throw him a Cool Bet hat, I'll get him a Cool Bet hat.
We can do that, right? I like
nice.
those Cool Bet hats. Those are my favorite ones that they've given us.
Yeah.
The one you got.
All right, let's get to this text message right off the start. I want this. Oh yeah, baby, just picked up some Popeyes with a Hyman cup. Eat some delicious chicken and listen to the Lock Shop in the truck. LFG, winner, chicken dinner. That's somebody who got some Popeyes, was listening to Lock Shop a little bit earlier, and got his hands on a Hyman Cup. Unbelievable.
That's how you do it, man.
That is how you do it, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. Tommy, how was post-game last night, buddy?
Post-game was good.
Yeah.
Man, post-game is picking up. Like, there's a lot of people hopping on board on the YouTube side of things, and big thank you to everyone who's realized or remembered that we're still kicking. And so the vibe is good. No complaints anymore, Dusty. And when this team's rattling off 12 straight wins, people are just appreciative. Now, it was interesting, like when we ran the Evander Kane audio and he's like, oh, just taking advantage of my opportunity. People kind of read into that. So I don't know, like, are we trying to make something out of nothing? Do you think?
Probably. Well, I don't know. What was your initial take on it?
I caught him use the term opportunity and also adding that he was just taking advantage of his opportunity. And I was like, oh, one of those again. I don't know. He just got promoted to the second line with an all-world centerman. Like, I don't think there's a lot of things to complain about. He had a 2-point night. He won a face-off. That's great. That's a contribution. So I don't know, man. Maybe we are kind of reading a little bit too much into it, but that's natural around here. I think
it was a quick response. But does that mean Evander Kane can only produce if he plays with Leon Draisaitl because it's just opportunity? Like that's why all of a sudden he's producing. I mean, you should be able to expect Evander Kane. I mean, to me, the bigger story of Evander Kane last night was him limping in that one video coming out to the ice.
Right.
You see that one? Yeah, the joke on the show this morning was he's going to Willy Wonka us and just roll and stand up and drop his stick and cane and be like, I'm fine.
But
okay. That was a pretty significant limp coming onto the ice, buddy.
Yeah, maybe it goes back to that groin issue he was dealing with a couple weeks ago. Remember the Anaheim game? He was going to be a game-time decision, just like he was yesterday. And maybe it wasn't necessarily the hand and more so the groin that's still nagging him that has been bothering him for a little while here. So, it's shrouded in mystery, but at least we can glean a little bit off of, his situation. So that's a multi-point game for him. I thought he had a better second and third period. His first period, among others, not particularly great, but yeah, I mean, good to see him get on the score sheet. Good to see him contributing. He is a top six guy. And you know what? I think the Oilers have three solid lines now, especially with McLeod playing well. Like it bolsters the third line. If you have a Vander Kane on the third line, it makes the third line that much better. Like, it's a good problem to have, I think, ultimately.
When the Oilers fell behind 2-0, did you think they were going to lose that hockey game, Tommy?
No.
Exactly.
I didn't.
Right? Like, they just feel like,
eh.
oh, they'll get it going here. Like, that's a weird, like, that's a really impressive way to view a hockey team right now. But I think everybody would have been like, oh, yeah, no, there's lots of time. Like, they're going to be fine here.
There were times in that first period. I mean, Ekholm and Bouchard got caught flat-footed a couple of times. The stretch passes that they were getting burned on, what 3 breakaways in that first period?
3 breakaway, like clear cuts, too. It wasn't even close.
You're like, uh-oh. And then I thought to myself when Tanev went in, I'm like, well, thank God it's Tanev. And, that instinct ended up being right. But the other two, like, great shots. Tolvanen's shot, that's a sniper right there. And McCann, what did he have? 40 last year. So not only you get burnt with stretch passes, not watching guys behind you and sneak through, but you do it to like 2 snipers on a team of basically second and third line guys. So they clean that up, which is good. Nice adjustments at the intermission. But you're right, like going back to yesterday and when they were down 2-0, I was like, I think they're going to be okay as long as they clean up the stretch pass thing in their defensive zone, because there were some sloppy moments yesterday for sure in that opening frame.
If you have any questions and you're listening on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, feel free to hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And, of course, you can hit us up in the Nasty Chat as well, and we will get to a few of those as we work our way through this bad boy. Northside Sandwich says, when do you think we will see Holloway in the NHL again? Will he be a winger or a center when he comes up? Thought we had heard earlier in the week that Stav said he might be back here for this game against Calgary. Tommy, what are you hearing about Dylan Holloway right now?
Not much.
Not going to be back for Calgary, though, right?
Not at this point, unless they announce it right away and jet him up to Calgary. But I'm just looking at the lines here. They're getting into some rushes. Phil Kemp's still on the ice.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we've seen guys practice with the team and then get sent down. But I'm looking at Phil Kemp right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 D-men. So, yeah, Phil Kemp's out there. They're wearing their tan pants and gloves, by the way. And so I'm assuming Holloway gets called up in a week or two. That was my best guess because I saw that message in the Nasty Chat. And he's going to play wing. I mean, I think you're not going to just thrust him back in at center or try him at center after a stint in the minors, I don't think. Especially when you have Derek Ryan as an option. For sure, yeah. Matthias Janmark can play center a little bit. Sam Gagne, although I don't think his foot speed's there to play center, maybe in a pinch, but you have other options. So I don't think they're going to put Dylan Holloway in at center. But I'm guessing in a week, maybe 2 at the latest. Like, he should be getting back up here. Although it'd be nice to have 7 defensemen on the. You know what would be nice to have, Dusty? 23 men on the roster.
Yeah, that would be huge. But they make do without it. So they usually
evidently
they usually find a way to get it done. Connor Hagen is in the Nasty Chat today and says, I remember I said when the Oil lost to San Jose, so the Oilers have to play near perfect and defensive sound hockey to even make the wild card. Wow.
Yeah.
And that is how you would describe them. Mike Johnson on our show this morning, he joined us a little bit early because he was at the airport in Calgary, flying home after doing that Leafs Flames game last night. And he said the Oilers are winning hockey games based on goaltending, defensive play, and the penalty kill. And I was just like, it hit me like a cement truck. I was just like, whoa,
yeah,
what's happening? Because those sound like things that a Stanley Cup champion could eventually be sort of built on, right? Like that's just MJ spitting the truth, man. That's just how they're winning hockey games right now.
And MJ doesn't throw out the fluff either. Like, he's pretty harsh. I also caught you saying it on the wrap for William Huff at the end of the Nielsen show. And when you said that and you're like, Oilers, defensive hockey,
I know,
penalty kill. And I was like, what? That's a sentence that I don't think we've ever heard. Probably haven't heard maybe since like those stingy, hardworking teams of the late 90s, early 2000s. Wow. What the hell?
I know. It just doesn't make it like we've never said
right.
that. We've never said that in the Connor McDavid era.
We have not.
Not even really a sniff. So the fact that that's kind of how it is right now, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Now, PK Subban doesn't view it that way. Do you see PK Subban's tweets today?
What did Pernell Carl say?
Yeah, so PK Subban tweets today because he was on the McAfee show and some guy replied and said, Pat, please stop bringing PK on the show to talk about the Oilers. This man does not watch the games, clearly by the stupidity that comes out of his mouth. So spitting hot takes. So then PK retweets this and goes, I actually love watching Edmonton play. They're just too easy to play against in their own zone. Too much emphasis on McDavid, Leon, etc., and superhero offense to always get it done. You need to win tight games with your defense. You saw what happened last year with Vegas. Yes, Eichel is a stud and an X factor, but defensive structure, goaltending, being hard to play against won them a cup. Not just talent and skill, but hey, anything can happen. And, obviously we have to respect PK Subban's opinion.
Sure.
But, I would politely say that he's completely wrong right now. Like, he does sound like a guy who hasn't watched the team during the 12-game winning streak. Once again, with all due respect to PK Subban, but to say that during this winning streak, there's too much emphasis on McDavid, Leon, etc., and superhero offense to always get it done, and then to follow that up with, you need to win tight games with your defense, that is what they have done for like the last 12 games. So to me, it's an uninformed opinion of what that is a take on the Oilers in mid-November, not a take on the Oilers in mid-January right now. So it's weird to me.
I was going to say that was spot on for like early December.
Oh, and every other McDavid team ever.
Yeah.
That's spot on for the Oilers for the last 9 years. That's not spot on for the Oilers for the last 6 weeks.
Right. Last week, didn't they win their games outscoring the opponent 7-4 total?
They won that. They won that 4-game stretch, games 7, 8, 9, and 10 with 10 goals over 4 games.
That's right. That's what it was. And it's like, so the guy who texted into McAfee and McAfee Reddit was right. Like, cool to have hockey talk on Pat McAfee, but yeah, that's not a good look for PK. All due respect.
Yeah, I just think it's an uninformed hot take from somebody who probably doesn't stay up super late to watch every single Edmonton Oilers game. Because the Edmonton Oilers are winning games unlike they have before. And it's just it's a dated take. And I'm not gonna retweet it and argue and all this shit. It's just a bad take. It's just a bad take. Kind of
you saucy boy.
Leave it at that. Yeah, no, sorry, I swore there. I don't know why. Sorry, earmuffs, kids, if you're listening here.
You know who else was saucy today? Pete Greggy.
Yeah, Pete Greggy
on the lock shot. He was getting saucy, talking about like getting to the stadium for the Bills game and people dying in the snowstorm last year. I was like, ooh, Pete Greggy.
Yeah, Pete Greggy can spit some takes too.
I like it. Yeah,
for sure. Nasty chat or at 780-218-9999. The Edmonton Oilers have won 12 in a row. True story. This text came in on the Nielson show this morning, and he said, if that one goal that got called back would have counted, that would have been 3 goals against for the first time since that Rangers game on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Is Stuart Skinner getting tired? That was legit the question that they asked. And I was like, 16-2 in his last 18. He's not, like, if you watch Stuart Skinner right now, what in your mind would make you think he's getting tired?
I'm literally looking at him right now, and he's in the starter's net, by the way.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Sick Grant Fuhr throwback pads, I have to add.
Is there anything you watch, Tommy, that makes you think he's getting tired? I just don't see it. Now, with that being said, I don't think they should run him out there 62 times this year, but I don't think he's looking tired.
Yesterday was game 31 for him out of 41. So, and he's getting and that was a divisional game. And we thought that maybe Pickard would get that start. You got another divisional game against a Flames team that's been playing better of late, although they lost yesterday to the Leafs. But I think next week, Dusty, looking at Chicago and Columbus coming in, that's where you might get Calvin Pickard some work, right?
For sure. Of course you would.
So you're looking at the Kraken and you're looking at the Flames and you're going, okay, we need to make hay on the teams above us. Good on the Oilers for catching LA. They're in third in the Pacific after that win, and LA's lost last night. That's great. So they're going to their go-to guy, and I'm assuming, looking at next week, saying, okay, Pickard's got to play 1 or 2 of those games next week because it's the same Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule that we've seen all month, basically. And then in terms of like the tired comment, that was a bad goal that he let into Wenberg, right? Like short side, kind of under his glove.
Yeah, you could even tell once it got through him, he's like, ugh.
He knew. Yeah, that was a bad one. But I wouldn't look at that goal and go, he looks tired. I would look at that goal and say, well, he effed up. Like, he screwed that one up. Outside of that, I thought he's been pretty good. He seems energetic. He looks just fine right now. And I had a great conversation with him, was it 2 days ago, just seeing how he was doing. I'm like, what's going on? He's doing all right. He's like, man, just loving life right now. Like, hanging out with my boy. He's walking. And there was no like tired eyes. There was no droopiness. There was no sag of the shoulders. It was like there's pep in his steps. So right now I don't get the sense that he's tired. The situation the Oilers are in right now and who they're playing tomorrow. I understand why they would go with their number one guy. And then you look at next week and you go, those look like Calvin Pickard games, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's one in there for sure. I mean, if you look at the way that the schedule lines up, we were kind of going over it this morning. You know, you play them against Calgary. It's the Battle of Alberta. Calgary's been playing relatively well as of late. Yep. You pushed it to 13. Edmonton, boy, Hockey Night in Canada, Battle of Alberta. I mean, he's starting that game. I said this morning, why would anybody even bother asking the question of if he's not going to start that game? Like, it just makes too much sense for him to start that game. And then you could play Pickard on Tuesday, and then Skinner, literally, if you're worried about, getting some rest, he would have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. You can play them Thursday and Saturday, and then they're off. So, I mean, that's not a heavy workload here. So I don't think anybody needs to be overly concerned. I'd be pretty surprised if he plays every single game the rest of the month. But, I mean, from a workload perspective,
he's not. Oh, come on. We're going to see Pickard a couple more times.
They're going to get – well, you think Pickard
at least
plays –
once.
I was going to say he'll get one of those next three. I'd be surprised if they run him 2 of the next 3.
Here's a question. Say they get that win tomorrow night. You get Chicago coming in here. We know how banged up the Hawks are. We saw that a couple weeks ago, even though the Oilers did not play a good game at the United Center that night. You go to Pickard and you say, give us that game. He gives you a solid night. Like, are you okay with giving Stu another night off on Thursday and then going, all right, Stu, we'll give you Saturday? Or would you say, no, we'll run you. I know you kind of outlined it. You go back to back if you need to, Thursday, Saturday with Skinner next week. But if Pickard plays good, say they give him that start against the Hawks, and then you look at Columbus on the Thursday, you go, well, let's give it to Pickard. I'd be okay with it, but that's just a thought that crossed my mind, basically.
What say you can hit us up in the nasty chatter at 780-218-9999. Skinner's Grant Fuhr setup is amazing.
It's
like
super nice.
Those pads, and he just looks so good. God, I like the way those retros look, man. Looking forward to seeing those.
Lots of orange, like that burnt orange, right? Remember, like the pads in the 80s. Not only would they get broken in, but they would get dirty, Dusty. Remember, they get dirty because they were probably being lugged around in crappy old arenas full of dust, mice, and cockroaches, like Boston Garden.
Yeah, just dirty. Yeah, just greasy.
Haggard.
Penner's Pancake says, do you guys think KK's calm demeanor and tone is reducing panic on their game, which is allowing them to play a full, patient 60-minute game? It sure seems like that might be a factor.
Yeah, but Woodcroft didn't really get fired up. He was chatty, but like yesterday,
I think Woody looked a little more nervous on the bench at times.
Well, I mean, you gotta like put your arm on Knobloch sometimes to just make sure he's got a pulse.
That's what I mean. Like Knobloch looks like he's not even moving. He's like a statue back there sometimes.
Yeah, but like there was a moment last night where I think Hamblin, I don't know if Hamblin was just in the wrong spot on a shift or something happened, and I saw Knobloch go over and like have a chat, like let's go, and you can see Hamblin like nodding, and I'm like, oh, he does get in there. He does, talk to guys one-on-one and has those chats. We used to see that a lot from Woodcroft. I know they'd pan or they tilt or pan to the the bench, and then you'd see like Woodcroft get in there in a guy's ear. And I don't recall seeing a lot of that with Knobloch, but I noticed it yesterday. So he's got his finger on the pulse. The calm demeanor, though, I mean, we see it in football, Dusty. Remember Jason Moss when he was the head coach for the Asks, and they were taking all those stupid penalties, and then he was throwing his microphone and the pack and stuff. Like the coach sets a tone. So to Penner's Pancakes point, like if your coach is calm, cool, and collected, and you start acting rambunctious and getting out of line, if the captains and leaders on the team aren't settling you down, or you look back at the coach and he's like just calm and he just like looks at you, you kind of get that sense like, I better shut up and settle down too. So it probably does have a bit of an impact, but I don't know how big of an impact. That's something I'm not sure of.
If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us up. This text is in at 780-218-9999. Says, I think Pickard gets 2 of 3 next week. I mean, you can see how it plays out. We'll watch on that one. Let's get to a few more here. Sticking with the goalie conversation just for a second. And it's nice to talk about a goalie conversation where it's like, man, Skinner is playing so well. Do you have to make sure that you don't burn him out? Because Skinner has been absolutely outstanding for a little while now. Mo is in and says, good day, gentlemen. Do you guys see the Oilers acquiring another goaltender such as Fleury as insurance for 74, or do they trust Calvin Pickard in a backup role come playoff time?
Yeah. In a perfect world, Marc-Andre Fleury ends up in Edmonton. There's some chatter upstairs in the press box during the game last night. It doesn't sound like Marc-Andre Fleury or his family or wife would be too interested in coming to Edmonton. And so I think that has like very minimal chance. I wish I was wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But with every solid performance from Pickard and then with continued growth from Skinner, it takes the urgency away of chasing a goalie on the market. Like Merzlankin's, him telling the broadcast after a good performance that he wants to trade, or he's angry and the monster's coming out. The fact of the matter is he's having a crap season on a crap team, and his value is not great. Nobody really wants him. And then you look at the other options that are out there. You're like, well, they're not great for the guys who are available. And then the guys that you might be able to pry away are going to cost you an arm and a leg. And I don't know if the Oilers are really in a position where they want to do that. So they're getting goaltending, and Calvin Pickard has been way better than Jack Campbell overall. Olivier Rodrigue is starting to emerge as a legit prospect, and that's great. That's a pleasant surprise. And then Jack Campbell's good for him, playing better lately.
Yeah,
I think
920 over his last 10 games.
Yeah, so that's great. But I don't think they're going to force Jack Campbell back onto the roster because he's playing well in AHL Bakersfield. And all the while, you got a backup here that's steady, reliable, well-liked. You're not rocking the boat just to get Jack Campbell back up here. So I don't think Marc-Andre Fleury is going to even be a consideration for the Oilers. I wish that wasn't the case. And then I think the more they get steady goaltending, the less of an issue it becomes. And maybe they do ride with these two into the postseason. I don't think it's ideal. I'll say that. That's my take on it. I would like to see someone who's been in the league a while, that has played playoff games, has been a number one at some points in his career, be the backup to Stu Skinner. But, I mean, they have to address, and they're having meetings right now. All the scouts are here in town. They're setting up their game plan for the trade deadline. So, Dusty, do you want a centerman or do you want a backup goalie? Do you want a depth defenseman or do you want a backup goalie? Like, they got to determine priorities.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, it would just suck if you've got a Stanley Cup run going. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody this in the Edmonton market. If you have a Stanley Cup run going and you lose your number one goaltender and you have to go to a guy that really hasn't had a lot of sustained NHL success as opposed to a veteran backup who you would feel better about going into that battle with, right? Like
100% agree.
So, I mean, I think you probably have to address that from the just-in-case factor because you're in a window right now. This is not like a team that's surprising everybody and you're like, they might, this is just the beginning for that. Like, for the Oilers, they're going to have a window here where you got to deliver a cup, and if it comes down to a goaltender injury, and you don't have a proper backup because you didn't feel the need to address it, that's going to sting forever. Which we still saw Dwayne Rolison text on 2 guys and a goalie yesterday as one goalie to win a Game 7 in a Stanley Cup final. They're like, Rolly. And you can't do that again. So I think you probably have to be.
Oh, I get it.
To be a little bit careful on that one. 780-218-9999. Dusty and Tommy Gazzola with you here on the Oil Stream. Brought to you by Popeyes. If you're looking to get your hands on something delicious for lunch or those collector cups, the Hyman collector cup, not many days left on that. You got to hop on that one right away. And then they're going to go, I think it's Nurse Ekholm Nuge between now and the mid to end of February. $16.99 at Popeyes. You get the spicier regular chicken sandwich. You get the nugs. You get the fries. You get the sauce. You get the drink. And then you get the collector's cup on top of it. It is a terrific, terrific deal. This time next week, Windermere Boston Pizza. Oil Stream live at the Windermere Boston Pizza. Tweeted us earlier today. We're going to be doing a lunch hour. And because I have to do the lock shop right before, I'm actually going to be doing the lock shop at the Windermere Boston Pizza as well. So I'm going to be set up shop for a couple of hours at the Windermere Boston Pizza next Friday. So if you want to come by and join us, we'd love to have you. We'll be banging out an Oil Stream right there live inside the Boston Pizza. So make sure you pop by. We're in January. Every single day is past a Tuesday. Same prices you get in those sweet, sweet deals on Fridays. Or on Tuesdays, rather. You can get them every single day of the week at Boston Pizza. But mark it in the calendar. We haven't done one at the Windermere Boston Pizza. So I'm excited to get down there. But, obviously a big population down in the Windermere Terwilliger area. So if you're working down there, you're on the West End, you want to swing by, grab lunch. If you come on in and say what's up, we'll buy you a beer while you are there. What are you looking at, Tommy? What are you seeing down there?
They're doing line rushes. I'm looking at the lines. They look the same. So there shouldn't be any change. I'm just keeping tabs on that. Also, I'm glad we're getting back.
Is Kane out there?
He's out there. Okay, he's skating. Yeah, he's practicing.
See, so I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised on the Kane stuff. Like, he if he's banged up, he's still powering through practice. It's interesting. I'm very interested in what's going on health-wise with Evander Kane. It's a real mystery.
How about him showing up in just his ginch yesterday for the interview?
Yeah, but when you're jacked, you can do that, right?
Yeah, well, he has popped into post-game interviews like in full suit before. He had this one velvet one, man. That thing was sick. But I think Rob Tichkowski, as he was walking, I looked at him and was like, velvet or velour? He's like, a little bit of both. And then Tich goes,
how is Tich?
Tich is great because he dropped Tich one-liners when Evander had that suit on. He goes, are you going for a Joker look or what? And I don't think Kane liked that one. It was a nice suit, man. Like, it might have cost a full band or two, that suit alone, maybe even more.
D. White, who is asking, it is next Friday, a week from today, January 26th, which I believe is Wayne Gretzky's birthday, isn't it?
Oh, how fitting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure January 26th is Wayne Gretzky's birthday, and we're going to be at Boston Pizza in Windermere to do an Oil Stream that day. So that'll be great. So yeah, D. White, Surveyor Brett, anybody who's down in that end of town, swing on by for lunch. I'd love to have you, and we'll get you a little drink for your lunch hour. Even if you just want an iced tea or a pop, that's okay too. A
little drinky?
Yeah, if you're looking for a place to watch the Oilers, obviously you can get that done at Boston Pizza as well. How about where did we come out on Yanni Gourde last night? Pissed off with the McDavid stuff, then goes and takes a run at Ekholm and gets 5 minutes.
He's an agitator. He's a spit disturber. I'm not going to use the word like you did.
Yeah.
Because kids might be watching and listening. So, I really like Yanni Gourde. I think he's a very, very good hockey player, and it shows in his character and how he's persevered to get to the National Hockey League. Great contributor for the Tampa Bay Lightning in their cup runs, and then he's been everything that he was labeled as for the Seattle Kraken. But yeah, that's him. Frustration, end of a long road trip, 3-game losing streak, pissed off about stuff that was happening in game. How about McDavid hopping into Scrum's first guy a few times in the third period alone? So yeah, Gourde goes out there and he tries to take it out on Matthias Ekholm and absolutely launches himself, Dusty, like a little ball.
Yeah, he went flying in there. I was like, oh man.
I watched that. I was like, whoa, he launched himself. It was not a good play. That was dumb. And he's going to, be fined or whatever. I don't know if I don't think he's going to get suspended.
No, he won't be suspended, I don't think.
Yeah, good for Ekholm. I like how Ekholm responded in the penalty box. He gives him the finger. The no. And it was just not a good play. Dumb. Don't do that, kids. Even if you're mad, you can really hurt somebody. So thankfully, Yanni Gourde is like 5'9", 5'10", and he get the jump just to get to, the Vikings' chin, basically.
Ekholm in the box, as was texted into the Nielsen show this morning, was very much the ultimate dad vibe. Like,
yes.
We told the story about Fraze at that ball hockey tournament like 10 years ago when Majot and I were starting to get a little chippy, and one of the guys on their other team took a nasty, nasty swing, and I think it was at Mark, and Fraze wasn't even on the court, and he leans over the fence and goes, "Stop it! Stop it right now!" And we were just like, even I was like, "Fraze, shut up! Like, what do you like? Let us get after it a little bit here, man. Like, what are we doing?" So yeah, that was
That's so
I just
Fraze.
got those Fraze vibes from Ekholm in the penalty box last night.
That is so Fraze.
Yeah.
You stop it right now.
Let me.
Yeah. But like, I like the jawing in the penalty box. It adds to the emotion of the game. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder if they're going to do anything. Like, there was a time where there was like no glass in the penalty box, and guys I remember Doug Waite trying to go after some guys against the Avalanche and like climbing over. Those days are gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I still like the chirping. I still like the yelling at each other. I love it. I'm like, I wonder what they're saying. I like when guys throw crap at each other. You don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
But you like it. Why should kids not do it, Tommy? Or
it's a guilty pleasure.
You're gonna hate this story. First of all, it's a ball hockey story, so you're probably gonna hate it. Your brother.
Wait.
I
have no comment.
Okay, so you have no comment. I'm gonna tell the story anyway.
Yes, please do.
It was in Lethbridge, and in Lethbridge there was like 4 or 6 ball hockey teams, so we play each other all the time. And you know how it's one of the reasons I don't play ball hockey anymore. And I used to be a psycho anyway. And then when I became less of a psycho, I was just like, man, we are kind of ridiculous. Like, this is taking it too far. It is just ball hockey. But back when I was in my full-blown ball hockey psycho prick phase, I remember we were playing a game in Lethbridge. When we talk about penalty boxes, we're playing a game down in Lethbridge, and me and this guy are getting into it. And I got pretty good chirps. Like, I was really giving it to this guy. And we're walking off, and we, stinky glove, whatever. They're giving us penalties. And I get into the penalty box, and I turn around, and he was coming late behind me. He was kind of like walking behind me. So I get in the box, and I turn around. And I'm thinking I'm good at that point. And the box there, it didn't have like glass on it. So it was just like open. And I kept going at him, and I can't remember what I said. But this dude, Superman, flies over the board into the penalty box, and it's on at that point. And I was just like, oh, no, what have I done? And then it's on. We both got ejected. I got suspended for a couple of games. But I couldn't believe it because I was just like, oh, I'm in the box. Like, there's the scorekeeper between, and then all that's done.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in the other box. He was walking off, and I was giving it, and it was, yeah. So I wish I could go back and just see how stupid I was playing ball hockey in rec league in my 20s to early 30s. But once I had kids, I totally dialed it back. Just, I don't know if it was like, I don't know. I just became a dad. I just didn't care as much.
You're a man.
Anymore. Like, yeah.
You're a man.
I was a man, yeah.
Can I add to your story? And I'm not even at all surprised. To those that don't know Dusty or didn't know him in prior years, he does get feisty, and he used to play men's league. And I remember in the summer, I was on one team, you were on another team, and we were playing against each other. And we see each other at war. Hey, Dusty, what's going on? Hey, Tommy, yeah, it's all good. Good to see you. Good luck today. How's your team? This, that, my same thing. And you got into it with Chad Scarf, who I think played in the Dub for 3 seasons, coached in the Dub, was an assistant GM in the Dub, and then wound up, like, he really liked hockey. He became an equipment manager.
Okay,
he was equipment manager for the Oilers for a bit. He went to the Blades, and then he was with the Giants too. But, like, the boy can fight, and he's a big boy. He's like 6'2", and he's thick now. Like, he does not work out anymore. So,
Yeah.
And on the ice, though, he can get really feisty. And you were just furious because Chad's brother slashed you in the neutral zone, and you were going after Trav. Poor Trav, RCMP, not the biggest guy. And so Scarfy was like, I'm going after Nielsen. And I remember Scarfy being like, hey, is your buddy for real right now? Asking that about you. And I was like, yeah, like, he gets mad and he's big. Like, don't piss him off. And Scarfy's like, I don't care. I'm big too. And I'm like, just don't, please don't. I don't want to deal with this. And you guys still went at it, and you got kicked out, and I think Scarfy got kicked out.
Yeah.
And man, your chirps were flying from one side of the ice to the penalty box after the scrum, all the way off the ice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just putting my head down. I'm not saying anything. And then, of course, I'm in the room after, and Scarfy's like, you're effing buddy this, you're effing buddy that. I'm like, I told you, don't.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a nice guy.
Yes.
It's just, I think what happens is, like, all the little things that people would get, like, fired up about day to day, like at home or at work or whatever, I just serenity the now out of all that stuff.
Yes.
And then when I get to sports and something happens, it all comes out. And I black out. Like, I black out. It's like, yeah, Surveyor Brett is in it, says, tell the story about you losing it about a no goal in a charity tournament. And that was in the Dirty Birds tournament. Were you on the ice for that one? I know Seats was out there. I think
I scored the winner that game.
Okay, yeah. So Seaton was on he was on my team. Darcy and I were on the same team.
I know.
And it was such a BS call. And it's a good, the Dirty
call.
Birds tournament was great. We raised a ton of money for it.
Yeah.
It was, I think Surveyor Brett says he was. Oh no, Brett might have been reffing that one, but
He might have been, yeah.
and I hope I didn't go at Surveyor Brett. That would have been a prick move. But we're sitting there, we're trying to. I guess you had scored. You guys were up. We're peppering it, and I saw the goalie. It was the cheapest move of all time. I saw him. He got to his post, and then we had the puck behind the net with like 6 seconds left, and he just pushed the net off. It comes out front. I don't know if I buried it or Seaton buried it, but I know I was parked in front, and we tied it. And once again, it was a charity game, but it was a tournament too. It was competitive. Like there was, any sort of competitive juices get flowing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I flipped. It was just like
You did.
yeah.
And
tough.
you were totally wrong on the call. I mean, the refs nailed it.
No,
so.
they didn't nail it. The goaltender clearly pushed it off. That's all I was trying to say. Call the call. Like he clearly pushed the net off on purpose. Don't even bring that up. Like
You're full of it.
yeah, I remember one time, Carius, KK, because Carius and I played in like 3 World's Longest Hockey games together.
Yeah.
And Carius and I, like we're good buddies. And Carius can chirp, and I'll never forget. And it was just like, it's the middle of the night. It's like minus 20. And I was coming in, and Carius is a good hockey player. He's a good defenseman. So I'm coming in on him, and he gets his stick right between my legs and like can openers me. And I'm just like, it's the middle of the night of the World's Longest Hockey game. And I got up and I lost it. And I mean, it probably helps that, we know each other very well. And I was just like I lost it on Carius. And Nina had to slide in and was like, Dusty, calm down. You cannot fight. It's for charity. Just relax. I was just like, okay. And then obviously, at the end of the shift, KK and I are all good. But I don't know, man. I like the ability now that I don't care enough. Or maybe I just don't play enough to lose it anymore. I mean, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
You're in your 40s. I'm in my late 30s. I don't want to back check. I don't want to get into scrums in the front of the net after a whistle. I don't want to get hit in the corners. Like
there's too much going on there now. Like
shit to do every day.
Yeah,
like I don't want to be injured anymore.
Yeah, I am good for like the charity event we're playing in with heavy hockey. That's going to be a fun event. That's a fun game. We're going to have the Edmonton Sports Stock team versus the heavy hockey team. And it's just going to be a fun game. Right, and I'm really looking forward to that. That should be a really good time. For more on that, visit the Heavy Hockey website. And they got some details on the showdown. Rob Clark's going to be there to sing the anthem. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing it at the DCA. It should be a pretty good time. Surveyor Brett will be out there. I'm sure he'll be reffing. So it'll be good. And Brett, I promise you I will be on my best behavior for that one. Unless somebody comes after
say that now.
Unless somebody comes after one of our guys. It's you or YouTube Trev or Zacticum. I mean, got to look after your teammates. So, yeah.
Always.
We'll see. I'm raising one of those little guys. Marshall likes to look after his teammates too. He likes that. So
he's a big boy.
That'll be a lot of fun. Uchas says, I don't believe you, Dusty. If we come in the day after that tournament and I'm like, well, you won't believe what I did yesterday at the Heavy Hockey Showdown. Like that would not be.
I'm missing teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Trev's mustache is cut in half, literally.
Yeah, I love this one. This guy's in and goes, Dusty, we're just too tired now. Which is true.
Yes.
I mean, we're just busy with kids and stuff. You're just too tired to really have get fired up over over any of that.
Hey, how about this? So practice is over. They went on a little bit early. They've been doing that quite a bit lately. They fly to Calgary at 3. There's still like 10 guys, 12 guys on the ice, both goalies. Like, the practice has been formally done for like 10 minutes now. Both guys working in the nets. Like,
well, I guess Skinner's not tired then. Am I right?
I'm just saying, like, usually these guys want to get out of Dodge. They probably have, dinner plans somewhere in Calgary by the hotel, I'm guessing. And they just want to get their treatment, get their smoothie in and do their media and get out. But like, these guys are hanging around, man. This doesn't happen very often.
Well, I think it's because when things are going well and you're winning, you just want to be around it more. Like when things are just going good for anybody, if your things are going good at work, you just want to be around it more. You just want to hang out more. If things aren't going well, okay, practice is over. Boom, I'm done. Let's go. Let's get to the plane. Let's get down there. Let's have a bite to eat and go to bed.
Every defenseman's on the ice still. There's 7 D-men out there. Forwards, McLeod, Gagne, Brown, as he should be, obviously. Hamblin.
Did you think for a moment when Brown got the puck in the neutral zone with the empty net last night that was the one?
No.
It was an empty net or they got McLeod going. No. Just saying.
It was.
Yeah.
But I have zero faith. Like, he's had a couple shots at empty nets and he's missed the net. Where I'm just like, okay, well, it ain't working. Like, it's all in his head. He's fighting it. I think facetiously he said the word fun in his interview like 19 times last week. And I'm like, he is not having fun. He is saying that because he's just trying to get this interview done with.
It is impossible for this man to be having fun right now.
Yeah, he's not having fun.
Yeah.
He does have 4 sheets to ease the pain, but, I don't think he's thinking about that ahead of playing good hockey. So,
man, I do not appreciate the Cooks and boys from Pro-Am sliding into the nasty chat and telling Surveyor Brett that I'll be on my best behavior until I'm not. Come on, Jack. Ken, whoever's running that account over there, you guys are absolutely killing me.
Well played.
Absolutely killing me. Yeah.
Hey, do they have any Heritage Classic stuff left at Pro-Am? Because I know Ken and Jack were saying that stuff is selling hot, and the Oilers are wearing it tomorrow, and then they're going to wear it again.
I got my wife a hoodie for Christmas she likes.
They're nice.
Yeah,
they're really, really nice.
They nailed the Heritage Classic stuff. Like, I think it all looks good. I mean, I would assume that Pro-Am still has some. But Pro-Am, if you're still watching, boys, just let us know and pass that along.
Yeah, because Dusty, like Jack and Ken were telling me, as soon as that stuff comes in, it's sold like immediately, and they could only buy it like without, like, I think it was sight unseen.
Like, you just had to commit straight up, like, yeah.
And they had to buy X amount of product, and once you sold it, that was it. From my last conversation with them. So that stuff's nice.
If you're looking for a place to watch that game tomorrow, you can get it done at Boston Pizza. And they'll great deals, $5 off medium pizzas. You got $1 off the tankards of Bud and Bud Light as well. Portions of the O Stream also brought to you by One Putt Virtual Golf. Shen, I don't know if you're watching. Shen's obviously one of the owners at One Putt. If you were watching, I'm thinking of maybe next Tuesday afternoon of sliding on down to One Putt. My kids are planning to have some friends over that afternoon, so I think a nap in the house is probably out the window. So I was like, well, might as well go hit the links. And one of my buddies, Mikey's been talking about getting out and hitting some of these virtual golf places. I was like, well, let me know if next Tuesday works, and we'll go hit up One Putt. They have that 4-man scramble that's already running, but if you want more information, visit oneputt.ca for that. And I'm hoping to get there next week, which should end up being a pretty good time. Let's see here. There's Pro-Am. We're sold out of Adidas, but we have Fanatics jerseys, we have headwear, tees, and novelties left over from the Heritage Classic. So that's good. I like this one from Lars today. Lars, hey, Tommy, are the boys flying or taking the bus down to Cowtown?
Oh, they always fly. First class on the old Air Oil, but there's no bus travel.
Are you telling me they don't have to jam in to one of those horrible little planes that takes us from Edmonton to Calgary, where even if you're up in premium, there's no extra room, and it's just like a white thing's been put over the seat that makes it look fancier? They're not doing that?
No.
Man,
and
Lucky Ducks.
That charter, man, I miss that thing so much. I was talking to a buddy of mine from the flight crew last week, actually, and he's like, hey, we got to sneak you back on the plane, get you down on road trips. I was like, yeah, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. But I miss it. Like that 22 or 23-minute flight on the charter from Edmonton to Calgary or Calgary back to Edmonton, like you would get your full like snack and meal and a drink.
They'd go full meal on the 22-minute flight?
Every single flight. Every single flight.
Like, what? Really? Even on the 22, 23-minuter? Every
single flight. Like, it is.
Wow.
They call it the Never Hungry League for a reason.
Jeez Louise, man. I thought like a high-end snack and go from there. Give me some salted cashews. Be good to go.
Yeah, it's the bocconcini and balsamic. That's the high-end snack. I loved it.
Yeah. What's bocconcini?
The little bocconcini cheese on top of like a tomato.
Yeah, but you said these guys are getting the meal, though, on top of it.
Oh, yeah. And then you get the meal. They serve you the meal, like, right after.
Damn.
You can go on, have the snack, hang around while you're waiting for everyone to show up.
Yeah.
And then they start serving the meal.
Wow. Well,
and then if you want, you can have a drink.
Wow.
I would have drinks.
I've never said that before. Drank. I don't even know if I can. I don't think I can pull it off like you, Tommy. That's good. By the way, speaking of flights, details on Monday on Edmonton Sports Talk about a little something we got cooking up that involves an airplane. So we'll give you the details on that on Monday, starting on the Nielson Show, which should be a lot of fun. I do like the idea of the Oilers having won 12 in a row, driving down on a bus to Calgary, stopping in Red Deer at like the donut mill or at like the subpar Pete's Drive-In that is not close to the original Pete's Drive-In, like something along those lines. I like that idea of just like a good team sort of gathering, like a team event. Like, let's pretend we're back in junior and take the bus down and stop along the way. You know, that'd be kind of fun. I mean, I know they're not going to do it because they're millionaires now, but that'd be fun for one time.
You'd get like 2 or 3 guys who rode the bus in junior, would be a little bit nostalgic and say, let's do that. And then you'd get like 22 other guys and the coaching staff and the management team and Bob Stauffer and Jack being like, shut your mouth.
No chance.
Shut your mouth right now. We need bocconcini and balsamic right now, not Peter's Drive-In and not even the original.
You know who would probably be most pissed off by that? Philip Kemp.
Tell me.
Like, he's come from the American League, gets up to the show, and they're like, we're taking the bus to Calgary. He's like, what the hell? What do I have to do around here to get that first-class treatment, man?
That would suck, man.
That would be good. Jenna's in and says, road tripping to 13 wins. It's got a nice ring to it. It
does.
Yeah, well, I'm sure many of you will be road tripping down. So if that is the case, travel safe and be down there to watch them roll out 13 here against the Calgary Flames.
And do not chirp Flames fans the way Dusty would chirp his opponents on the ice or the ball hockey court or whatever the hell it's called, because there's going to get some situations that are going to be rowdy. And
it's a ball hockey floor, Tommy. It's a ball hockey floor. You're out on the floor.
Whatever the hell you get. Yeah. It's irrelevant.
You must have played ball hockey at some point, though.
I played it once.
Like one time?
I can't run. My knee buckled so many times. I have a knee with like a partially healed ACL and no cartilage left. So anyway, just be mindful, because I don't want to see anybody in oil country coming back home with bruises and cuts. And I want to see TikTok videos on Yeg Wave of monster fights between Oilers and Flames fans. And I don't want to see it. I just want to see Oiler fans walk home with a smile, go down to 17th Ave and party and just have a nice night in Calgary.
Man, look who's in the nasty chat right now. Terry Wong. A ball hockey floor. Terry was my goalie at YDP, one of the most unsuspecting dudes you'd ever think would be an amazing goalie. But Terry Wong can grind between the pipes. I love it. Yeah, that's Terry. What's up, buddy? I miss you, man. That's a good one. How about this one? Nino's in and says, huge fan of listening in Serbia to all the oil podcasts. A fan since '86, originally from Vancouver. Keep up the good work. All right, in Serbia, we're going to put it on the map. We're going to put that on the map. Hey, boys, put Serbia on the map. That's awesome.
I like how we did a map update today.
Yeah,
too.
well, we usually every day after the show, I'm going and pinning like 5 or 6 different places. Me and Zach to come get that done. Serbia, just somewhere. I'm assuming he listens all over Serbia. I mean, Nino, if you want to let us know exactly where in Serbia. What's that?
Serbia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's somewhere in Serbia he would be listening.
Oh, boy.
Tommy, I do want to get your thoughts on this. This is not an Oilers thing, but what do you think of Sports Illustrated basically shutting down? Letting go all of their staff.
Man.
Like, that's we know that this is the way we get it. Look where we are now. I mean, we understand. If everybody understands that traditional media is taking a significant kick to the nuts, it would be us. With that being said, sometimes it is brighter on the other side, and it's been decent here so far. But to just see, like, I've got in my basement, I've got LeBron James. This is a LeBron thing quickly. I'll just fit in here. But I've got LeBron James, like, first ever Sports Illustrated magazine, the chosen one. And then I've got his first ever NBA magazine when he's with the Cavs. And they're both graded. Really nice grade. I'm like, they're beautiful. Because Sports Illustrated carried that swag, man. Like, Sports Illustrated was the thing for the longest time. And it kind of still sort of hits hard seeing SI go down.
Yeah. Sports Illustrated was an institution for decades and decades and decades. Iconic, like you just mentioned. You teed it up nicely. And they had great writers. They had great reporters. I guess they're a victim of not being able to adapt with the times. Now, that being said, you know, we've had to adapt with the times. And like you said, it's going good. And we want to keep building this thing up. And we're lucky that we're flexible and nimble that way. But I don't know how they couldn't get the right amount of advertising and people still went to it. But, like, part of me too, Dusty, our line of work, it's like the cheap and easy. You know, you see like TikTok videos and people like, hey, do you know this TikToker that does sports? I'm like, no. Are they at the arena? No, they're outside the arena. Do they go and talk to the players and the teams? No, they just talk to fans and they do like these little things.
And
like,
they do extremely well with it, though.
Media.
Right? But they do extremely well with it.
Media.
Yeah.
But that's not sports media. That's fan media, right? Like, and so I understand like there's an appetite for it.
The problem is though is that a lot of fans would rather consume that nowadays than watch like the scrum with Evander Kane.
Well, the scrums have become irrelevant, right? Like they've become
But that's kind of that's all it is now. Though that's a problem. Is that
like
you just said the scrums have become
like
irrelevant? But what else is happening down there, right? It's only scrums. Nobody's rolling out one-on-ones anymore on a regular basis.
I know. But it's like, I think the part of what we get to do, and we're fortunate, is you get to talk to the players, coaches, management. You get stories, tidbits. You build relationships, and that should be the advantage that we use and get to. So that I don't think goes anywhere, but it is too bad because Sports Illustrated was phenomenal. I used to love their Extra Mustard feature, and it was all the crazy stuff from around the sports world that you never would have heard of. So they had everybody had a reason to like it, whether it was the images or the articles, the long form, short form, whatever. It's too bad. It's too bad, and it's indicative of where things are going, and you have to adapt and survive. Otherwise, you go by the way of the dodo, and, you know, you're right. Like, we're kind of an example of that.
The doc is in and says, I had an SI swimsuit calendar signed by Tyra Banks when she did an in-source signing at the St. Albert London Drugs in 1999.
Yep. As a young man, I very much appreciated
swimsuit episode was awesome when you were a young kid.
Yep.
I mean, it really.
I loved it. I was like,
I think I remember that one with Tyra Banks too. That might have been the most popular swimsuit cover of all time.
Beautiful lady.
And this one is in from someone named Patty, who we both know, and I would want the exact opposite of this. EST Naked Calendar Edition. I'm in, Patty.
He would want that.
Yeah, I would pay him not to make that. I'll just throw that out there right now.
Pat.
Tommy, Oilers, Flames tomorrow night. Calgary played the Leafs tough. I mean, Matthews was phenomenal. Matthews is having a ridiculous goal-scoring season. I mean, the guy's on an absolute tear. 3 more last night. Had a goal taken back. Leafs end up hanging on and winning 4-3. Calgary's won 7 of the last 3. We had Steinberg actually on the Nielsen show today, kind of talk about where this team is at. He said the whole city's kind of torn right now. on, should you be trying to sell some of these guys or like you're in the fight. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this should be a tough test, but I just have a hard time believing Connor McDavid in the spotlight with the way the Oilers are playing right now on Hockey Night in Canada failed to get it done against the Calgary Flames. I don't care where that game's being played.
I think it's going to be a great battle tomorrow night. Calgary, like you said, playing better, wants to end this streak. They want nothing more than to end this streak. How perfect would it be from a Flames point of view that they end the Oilers, new franchise record streak. So that should have the Oilers on their toes. If they were getting complacent like they were in the first period yesterday, the Flames are going to wake them up really quickly unless the Oilers are just as eager to shove it down the Flames' throat, which I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, rattling off 12 straight wins. So I think we're in for a fantastic hockey game tomorrow. You can catch the pregame right here on EST at 6:30, by the way, with myself, Matt Cassie, and YouTube Trev. And maybe even Zach. I don't know if Zach DeCum did. Do you know Zach DeCum did the player of the game yesterday?
I heard you kind of slapped his hand a little bit.
In a nice way. He didn't play for the Oilers last night, and he dropped a week.
Oh, boy.
In an hour. So
hey,
it's one of those things.
He's young. He's training.
He's gonna be a good broadcaster.
Yeah.
I've made it wasn't even a mistake.
Maybe like 20 years from now he says, who gave me advice? Tom Gazzola, because he said don't say we. It's the same thing.
Yeah, maybe. And then the person he's talking to goes, who are you talking to? Who's that?
All right, that is going to do it for the Oil Stream today. As always, cool bet, a huge part of everything we do here at Edmonton Sports Talk. I will definitely be building a Battle of Alberta parlay for tomorrow, so watch for that to pop up probably Saturday morning over in CoolBet. To go to coolbet.com, sign up for an account, use a lock shop when you do, and you get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. One Putt Virtual Golf, Boston Pizza, and Popeyes presenting to you the Oil Stream with Dusty and Tommy. Tommy, you enjoy the rest of the day. Hey, you wearing sweatpants with that hoodie, or you got like jeans on?
Jeans, man. I said I'd go casual, but this is a nice hoodie.
You got a blazer that you can wear over that hoodie for me?
No, I went casual today. I have a nice coat, though, because it's so damn cold. But, hey, people thought I was going pantsless on the post-game show. I was full suit.
This guy doesn't go pantless. He never takes his pants off. He's a pants never off guy, for sure.
Never knew. Yeah. Like Tobias Funke.
Exactly. Nielsen Show replay coming up here on the TuneIn feed and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And Tommy will be back. Hello Hockey tomorrow as well. So
that's right. We've got Gourde from Gourde Customs. Dusty, he designs custom skates for NHL players. You're going to see a bunch of his work at the All-Star game.
Beauty.
Really cool story. So check it out tomorrow at 10.
All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream. Oilers have won 12 in a row. Good time to be an Oilers fan. Good time to be telling your friends about the Oil Stream. Thank you for that. For Tommy Gazzola, I'm Dustin Nielson. Have a good weekend, everybody.